Welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, you're back with the second half. We always say one of the best halves. Just like my girlfriend. She's always the best half, and you're Nella, the best half.
All right, you cleaned that up nicely, Don.
So the best half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, where every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., we get to share our Saturdays with you and our goal of guiding you down the path of
Personal and financial
right.
wellness.
Let's
Boy,
get
this
into it.
doesn't sound like the best half. Come on, get it together.
All right, fine, be that way. But we just had a great first half with Rafi Martinian with Einstein Academy. You should check it out. We have all our videos, all our interviews. These are live. You can go to actually donandgino.com, click on the live streaming button, and voila, you can see a very handsome guest, Mr. Sean Veritch.
Well, thank you so much. That's
Yeah, he's joining us today with HomeSmart. And then also go there on donandgino.com, click on the YouTube channel. There's 1,800 videos, including we'll post today's show. It's good stuff. And Sean's going to share with us today about great information, guy. I like that you're not just saying, hey, I do real estate. This is important stuff for you to be successful in the real estate market today and here in Santa Clarita, because each real estate market is its own unique, I guess, animal, unique community.
Yeah, I call it hyper-local, right? I always say that real estate is a hyper-local thing, and you know, for Sean, it's in his pedigree. It's not only is it it's hyper-local pedigree. It's like, you know, you've lived and breathed, and everything in your life has been real estate up until now, pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
how's it like being in real estate since you were in diapers?
Well, it's interesting. I've been to. I got sick of open houses long before a lot of my other fellow agents got sick of them. But you know, it's interesting because, you know, when you start as a child and you see it from that angle of it, where it's just like, you know, the fun part of it. You're not really seeing the business side. You're just seeing the happy people and the new first-time buyers, and you know, and you've seen my father, you know, put people into houses and stuff like that as a kid. You know.
Yeah, give our audience here so you all know what he's talking about, because your family's been in real estate out here in Santa Clarita forever.
That's right.
I remember back in, I'm 30 years in the business, and they were here before me.
That's right. So my family had Wildwood Oaks Realty, Better Homes and Gardens here back in the 90s. We had 4 offices and about 150 agents when I was just a very young person. But I mean, even now, I have got 4 parents that are real estate brokers, 2 of which who are past board presidents of our local board. My stepmother even was the vice president of Valencia Corporation, and you know, they did a lot of the master planning even of Santa Clarita area. So a lot of people that complain about the roads and stuff now, I take a little bit personally, because you know, we thought 5 lanes was good enough. Sorry,
it's called growth.
Yeah, exactly. But it is interesting. I mean, you have to love it, because it's not like what everybody thinks, where you're just driving people around and it's the easiest job in the world. I mean, that's the like you're saying, or like the last guest was saying, greeting the kids coming into the school was the best part of his day. You know, for us, showing people around, it's almost like the time of taking a break. You know, you use so much of the business side has nothing to do with just going around and looking for the homes. It's once you find the home and lock in a home, you know, securing a contract for your buyers, or you know, securing a good buyer for your sellers, you know, is where the game really starts, right? And then you've got this long process where you guys are real heavily involved, and that's sort of one of the first. I wanted to say thank you both for having me on. I wanted to not make this about me doing an ad for myself, but more really to try to help people with some good information today, you know, and just give them some. I
love your topics.
Yeah, and I think. If everybody listens a little bit, everybody should get at least something, come away with something today that they didn't know yesterday. So
well,
that's
I think it's imperative. And again, if you just tuned in, we're here with, we call him Sean Veritch, with HomeSmart, and one of our favorite partners. We actually partner with Sean to help you get into a home, because it's more imperative than ever in a tight market to have your ducks in a row.
So let's talk about that, because we talked earlier about America's Professional Real Estate Group. America's Professional Group. And the reality is, if you have to have partners, you have to have people you work with regularly, so you understand each other, so you know how each other works, so that you can definitely help everybody achieve their goals. We've all worked with someone here and there once in a while, and you just don't develop that bond, you just don't develop that trust that helps you succeed. So working with someone regularly, I think, is a critical part of our business.
It absolutely is, and it's just like all of our vendors, right? I mean, and you know, when somebody doing one deal, let's just say that's like a for sale by owner, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. you know, if they think they're going to get the same sort of service and attention as somebody who's doing 2, 3, 4, 5, even, you know, some 10, 11, 12 deals a month with, you know, you're absolutely wrong. They may be good, outstanding people, and they're, you know, put their, you know, fiduciary responsibility best foot forward. But still, when you have a relationship with people that you know what you're going to expect.
And you
know
can
what to
trust
expect
them for your clients.
Right, like I know if I send you somebody tonight, I'm not only going to get an email back that says thank you for sending them, but we've already got this taken care of. And follow up constantly. You know, every time there's something new, the line of communication just comes to me. I don't have to go searching for it. And that's why I try to set myself up with vendors that are like that. You know, I want people to over communicate. You know,
that's got to help you do your job, because really you don't want to have to. If you're chasing us or chasing your vendors, then you're not out looking at homes, previewing homes, showing your clients homes, finding the right homes, negotiating the home, and closing the home.
That's right. We only have so much time in the day, right? So we have to delegate. This is what you're going to do, and that's why it's important to not waste time by, you know, referring somebody to somebody that you're not 100% certain is going to handle it, you know, under promise and over deliver, basically, right? So those are the type of people we want in our circle.
Well, then let's dive into the piece that's going to help a lot of you out there secure a home. Right now, it's a very tight market. We don't have enough inventory. Home builders are trying their best, but they're not going to catch up for quite some time.
No.
So right now, it is imperative to take certain steps for you to be successful in finding the right home. I mean, you can go and look at 12 homes. But if you don't take the proper steps, your opportunity to get into that home, and a lot of you, bet you, are frustrated right now. You're like, I've looked at 20 homes, I've tried and put in offers. But maybe after you hear Sean's tips, and we'll chime in, of course, you might be more successful in securing a home.
Well, that's absolutely right. I think the tendency for most people is to, now that we have so much good information online and all the major sites, you know, people are looking through and looking for homes, and they're expecting to find the perfect home, go look at it, put in an offer, and buy it. And that's just not the way it works in this market. You know, you should really know sort of what the area you want to be in and what type of home you're looking for in general. But you always want to be pre-approved with a good local lender. You know, so many people now they're just doing these, you know, online or internet random lenders and using that as a pre-approval. I can tell you from experience that the listing agents are not impressed when you submit your offer with one of those lenders. They want one that says, oh, I know this lender. If they said you're good on a conventional loan, I'm going to take them at this letter.
Why don't you clarify, why wouldn't they? Because a lot of you out there are going on the internet.
I got a letter. That's what they say. I got a letter.
I got a letter,
They gave me a letter.
and they had the best rate.
Okay, well, I can tell you why. Okay, number one, when somebody gets one of those letters online, it's a very vague general pre-approval, like, you know.
It's actually a pre-qualification then.
Yeah, so it's more of a pre-qualification. If, and then you turn it over and read if this and 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 this is done, and it's perfectly right, and you don't make any changes or whatever, then the likelihood is we'll get you bought. Whereas you guys send a pre-approval letter, you've already gone through all the steps to make sure there's not going to be any 11th hour snags. And so that's why it's really important that you get a pre-approval letter, not only because when you do finally find the right house, you have to be able to pounce, right? You have to be able to attack, and if nothing else, at least be involved in the multiple offer scenario. If your offer is in there with the other offers and it doesn't have a proper pre-approval letter and or proof of funds along with it, it's not even going to be considered, because by that time they're going to make a decision, right? They're going to be able to pick a primary and a backup.
You know, and as a former agent myself, I could tell you that one of the things is when you're looking at an offer, right? You've got 5 offers. One of the things you're evaluating is how good is the agent, how good is the team that I'm going to be working with.
That's right.
And if they don't put together a professional package up front, they're wearing their Sunday's best when you write an offer, right? You should be doing the best you can do to present yourself in a good light. So if you wrote a poor contract and you didn't put in proof of funds and you don't have this, you don't have that, it doesn't really bode well for your offer.
And if the lender's not accountable, the real estate agent is accountable, that all ties into, like, I trust this person, I trust this real estate agent, I trust this lender to get the job done. And you would share that with your seller going, I don't know who these guys are. So you might go into contract, yeah, you might get a $2,000 or whatever better offer, but what if it doesn't go through? How's that going to affect you?
Well, and money, exactly, and money isn't everything too. No. I mean, and we always counsel our sellers too, especially like just because this one's $3,000 more or $5,000 more doesn't mean this is the offer you should take. When you consider, you know, the chances of maybe falling out of escrow because it's a very low money down loan, or maybe some sort of a loan where they're asking for seller credits already out of the gate, and you haven't even gone through an inspection process yet. I mean, so you know, all of these things matter.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we have to go to break, but the good news is we have another segment with more great information from Sean Veritch with HomeSmart. So please don't go away. We're going to share great information because our goal is to help you succeed in a very challenging market, but a great market. You should definitely be getting into real estate today, and we'll share more when we come right back. Don't go away.
Yeah.
All right. So we'd like you to check us out to find out more about our show for now almost 7 years, and also the catalog of over 1,800 videos on donandgino.com. That's DONANDGINO.com. And we're going to jump right into our segments today with Sean Veritch with HomeSmart, because Sean D has got great information. We went through it on the break and we don't have enough time, so we're going to dive right into a couple of the great topics, and I'll let you start, buddy.
That's great. One of the things I wanted to touch on that we had spoke about before, that getting pre-approval isn't just for buyers. You know, a lot of people, when they decide to sell their home, they put a sign in the yard, they get it listed, they get the agent, they're going home, they're worried about, getting the photos and the clutter and, setting up, showing. Sellers need pre-approved too.
But they have time.
They don't have time.
Wait, they pay for a mortgage already. They're gonna get approved for sure.
As you know, things change daily, much less weekly, monthly, yearly. If you're not pre-approved and able to, and know that you can even buy a replacement home, you have no business even putting your home on the market and wasting your time and everyone else's time, really. And so what I recommend is before you decide to put your house on the market, get pre-approved. You can get a pretty good idea what your equity is going to be to put down on the new home. And just make sure that you've got a good reputable lender like you guys at Skyline here to give them a pre-approval on something they're going to buy. And it still doesn't mean that their buyer's agent or seller's agent shouldn't put a home of choice contingency into the agreement.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that you don't necessarily have to sell your home unless you find a proper home of choice to move into.
Yeah, because a lot of you probably didn't know you could do that, and right now it's imperative because there's a good chance you have a great agent like Sean D. Your home could be sold like in a day. Are you prepared? And Sean, I love that you're making sure they're prepared, because a lot of, like you said, a lot of sellers, we don't get this topic on our show for 7 years now.
I was just going to say, so I want to stop for 1 second and applaud you for bringing up something that we never talked about. In almost 7 years, hasn't come up, not once, right? Hundreds of realtors on the show, and not once has anybody brought up, hey, be careful.
Be prepared.
Make sure you do your homework. As a seller, not as a buyer.
Make sure your
We've talked about buyers
right.
100 times. Well, because it's a big deal. You could potentially, if your listing agent doesn't do a great job, you could get yourself under contract and be forced to sell your home.
Yeah.
Even if you can't buy another one.
Yeah, you can be sued to perform, and it would not be fun, and especially if you don't have a home of choice contingency even at that to get out of.
Right.
Because the seller doesn't have a financing contingency.
Right.
The buyer does, right? So anyways, to move on, because I know we don't have a lot of time, and I want to get as much information into their ear as possible. Getting pre-approval also, it's a good idea to figure out what your real cost is going to be to buy the home too. Even if you don't have a home to sell, if you're, let's just say, a first-time buyer, or you're renting for a long time and you're finally now going to rebuy again, or whatever the case may be, you need to know that it's not just 20% down or whatever. Like, you'll have closing costs. There's different types of loan structures. Sometimes you got ones where you can get a seller to give you a credit towards some of your closing costs. But it's best to figure out what the lender will actually allow you to do, the percentage of your income that you can actually spend on a home. Before you start looking at $800,000, $900,000 houses, you may be stuck at a $550,000 house. Not saying that that's bad, but you need to know that before you waste your time going around and
well, doesn't that help you as a buyer's agent? Because you're a buyer's agent, which I think everybody should be working with a buyer's agent. Don't do it all on your own. It's a waste of time. You can look around for areas, but it's good to have a buyer's agent. But I had a topic and I just forgot. After that little sidetrack.
Ginkgo biloba.
This
This is a perfect spot for a Ginkgo biloba ad. If you're listening and need to sell ginkgo, we're here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're basically just talking about you just know your costs. The lender is really where people should start, whether you're buying or selling. Quite frankly,
I bet I know what you were going to talk about. If you're going to put less than 20% down, mortgage insurance is not the devil.
Right.
Okay. Mortgage insurance is a great tool. In fact, we just talked to a client this morning about it. She's like, "Oh my God, I don't want to use all my capital." As you shouldn't. It's only an extra $75 a month in her case.
And let's not forget that a 30-year loan doesn't necessarily mean you have to keep that loan for 30 years.
That's right.
I know plenty of people who refi when the market gets better and they're at an 80-20 level now, and they can get rid of PMI.
Oh, I know what I was thinking, is basically by you having the information, exactly what they qualify, what their range is, they know what their payments are, you can do a better job of not wasting their time. You'll find the right home in the right price range. Because a lot of agents just show you homes, that doesn't do you any good.
And a lot of buyers also are looking at the price on the internet sites, which are just showing a principal interest payment on the house, with nothing else on it, and they're figuring, oh well, I can afford $2,600 or whatever, and that's not really the case.
The best was when we were in a foreclosure market. They're like, I found this house in Sherman Oaks. It's 4,000 square feet. It's only $50,000. I'm like, no, that had a second trustee that was foreclosed on. It's not only $50,000. That's not happening. So be careful what you find online. You got to work with a pro.
And even once you're pre-approved and know your level, let's say you're okay and you're set to go to a 550 house. We do things a little differently here in Santa Clarita Valley than even the San Fernando Valley. The majority of the agents there list homes that are let's just say would appraise at 650. They may put them on at 550. Get everybody that's so excited about it. But the reality is when they're done sorting through the multiple offers, the 650 cash or conventional loan person is the one that's going to win, and you just wasted your time again. So at least in Santa Clarita, I say the majority of the agents pretty much put them on at about what they would appraise for.
Well, you're held a little accountable out here, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, people have a reputation. Those that do overlist have a reputation of overlisting, and et cetera. So you have to be careful with what you do. And I think, plus or minus 2%, right? I mean, that's, you don't know, right? The definition of value is what a seller's willing to sell for and a buyer's willing to buy for.
That's right.
And as an agent, you don't determine the value. You just choose a marketing price together with your seller.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the market will decide what the price is.
That's right. We know that all too well here in California, don't we?
And if you just tuned in, we're here with Sean Veritch, Sean D, we call him, with Home Smart, and giving you some great information about, being prepared as a seller. No one talks about that. And I love also, nowadays, since we're talking about, market being so hot and everything, shouldn't everybody just, sell the home themselves?
No, well, this
FSBO, as we call it?
Yeah, FSBO has been sort of the thorn in every real estate agent's side since day one. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that, okay, it's such a broad topic, so we're going to have to just sort of do bullet points on it, right? The main thing that I want people to understand is if selling it, a lot of you are, yes, capable of selling a home on your own. I'm not saying that you absolutely should not do that. If you have many experience with real estate, and there are scenarios where you can, especially now where you have so many buyers out looking for homes. We're seeing more FSBOs actually close, but that's not the norm. The norm is all of the snags and problems that come up that the for sale by owner seller just wasn't aware of, or how they structured the contract wasn't the same. And a lot of people have to realize when you're selling a home for sale by owner, the time that you're spending, first of all, to deal with people that are likely not even pre-approved yet. The majority of the homes that actually end up, so this is why the majority of FSBOs end up going to a listing agent and are sold
eventually
with a buyer's agent also bringing on their qualified buyers. Most people think, well, I'll just pay the real estate. Okay, so I'm FSBO. Okay, so finally, when it doesn't sell after 60 days, they give in, right? They say, willing to participate, I'll pay a listing or a buyer's agent, their commission. So there's no reason for me to have to list the house. Well, no buyer's agent that I know that's ever done a number of deals really wants to spend a whole lot of time doing both sides of the transaction. There's nobody there to coach the seller really except you now.
And then you can't because you don't have a fiduciary responsibility to them.
Nor are we protected with a listing agreement for the house deal in the first place.
Right. So, but the biggest thing for me, I've always talked about it every time we analyze the FSBO situation, is that seller is taking on a tremendous amount of liability in the state of California. We're in the most litigious state in the entire nation, and if they don't disclose appropriately, they don't have errors and omissions insurance. So I think you open yourself up to a huge liability selling a home in California.
Not to mention the safety factor. This is huge. When somebody calls you on your internet listing and shows up to your house, you have no idea who they are.
And this happens.
Even our local law enforcement here in Santa Clarita is making a point to people. Listen, even if your home is listed with a realtor and you're doing open houses, when you're done with the open house, check all your windows, check all your doors. Bad people will unlock them to plan to return back later. And also telling somebody on the phone when you can't show them the house can be as dangerous as when you can.
Oh, that's
You're telling them when you're not there.
So yeah, that's an interesting situation, right? If you think about an open house, it's, hey, Mr. Burglar, why don't you come in and see everything I have for the taking? See if you like it or not.
Yeah, sorry, it won't be me. Just my wife is home, and that's not, who wants to do that, right?
Yeah. All right. Sean, great job today. And I know you have a list of stuff, so we'll have you back on the show for sure. You have such good information. Hopefully you enjoyed, Sean. Sean, how can they get a hold of you, buddy?
You can reach me at realestatescv.com website, or you can call my direct cell phone at 661-644-9290. And call anytime, as long as it's before 9:30 at night.
All right, repeat them
one more time.
Yeah.
realestatescv.com or 661-644-9290.
Our good friend Sean Veritch, Sean D. He should be your friend, helping you with either selling or buying a home. You tell he's passionate about what he does. You love what you do. You're also very educated in what you do. I love you hit bullet points that are going to help you because it's difficult to be successful in real estate. It could be the most challenging thing you ever do, or it could be the most fun and rewarding thing you do if you work with great professionals like Sean Veritch. So reach out to Sean as soon as you can, and make sure you tune in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AM 1220 KHS, or check us out at donandgino.com. Have a great weekend.